What's happening, guys? Gemma here and back again for another video, and today I am delivering what I believe to be a PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC hidden gem. And I say hidden gem because many of you guys on last night's stream had said that you had never heard of this game but were very intrigued as the gameplay unfolded. Now, before we dive into what Observer is, I think we need to look at games like Silent Hill and PT. So PT, as we know, cancelled, which was going to be the brand new take on Silent Hills by Hideo Kojima, and unfortunately was cancelled after we had one of the most monumental and scary demos of ever, maybe, perhaps, since the Silent Hill franchise launched back on the PlayStation 1 days. Now, like many of you, I played through the PT demo and found myself scared out of my mind, lost, questioning my own decision making within the game, wondering, did I see that shadow on the wall? Or did I see it in the last run, or is it there again? You know, games that really connect with you on a physiological level, that make you sweat, that make your heart race, and that really do fulfill that horror fan inside you. Because horror, as I've said for many videos, is my favorite genre, not just to play, but to stream as well. I feel like you guys are on tenterhooks when I stream horror games. I'm into it. And that is why I wanted to talk about Observer as I started streaming and got well over 4 hours into the game last night. So, for those of you that don't know, Observer is a Polish-made game by Blooper Team and was released in August of this year on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC platforms. What is it? Let's take a look.
Subject approved. Commencing neural interrogation.
Observer, set in Poland in 2084, follows the path of a cop known as Daniel Lasarski. Lasarski's main quest is to establish contact with his estranged son, Adam. Observer's look is very gritty, kind of like a gritty cyberpunk. The residents of this 2084 Krakow are victims of the Nanophage, which is like a digital plague. And as with many of these types of disasters, the Nanophage led to crime, drug wars, and ultimately death.
I don't think it is.
No. Oh God.
Lasarski's unique ability is to plug into the minds of the deceased, unlocking memories that progress the story. It's in these memories that Lasarski reveals some of the true horrors of the Nanophage. This is Observer.
So, I think it's fair to ask at this stage is, first of all, in the comment section, I want to know if you've heard of this game. Unfortunately, it's digital only. I do believe Limited Run had a physical release of this game, but unfortunately you can't kind of buy it in the mainstream. So I paid £24.99 for this, sterling, as I'm in the UK, on the PlayStation Store. Now, I wondered, would it be worth it, as I heard that the campaign was very short. It's anywhere between 6.5 hours to 9 hours, as somebody pointed out on stream last night, depending on if you go for 100% completion or not. And so far, I'm 4 hours in, as I said, and I'm having a fantastic time. There's plenty of jump scares, there's plenty of mysticism. It's one of those games that I feel you play and you feel that when you get to the end, it's going to be one of those really rewarding experiences as the story will come together. Those unanswered questions as you're playing the game will finally come to fruition with an answer at the end. So I'm excited to experience that, and as I film this, I am yet to complete it. Hopefully I'll get it done in the next stream. If you're watching this after completion, it will be in the stream playlist, so you guys can go and check a full playthrough of this game. Now, for me, I really enjoyed the environments. They were often dark, dank, damp, and full of twists, turns, surprises, and I love that, right? I love that because you never know what's coming next, and there were two overall kind of levels or vibes to the game that I found for me. The first one was just the generic walking through the apartment block, interacting with various other residents, very eclectic characters, let's just say, other residents behind the doors. I found that you had a lot of story told within those conversations. You could answer with multiple choice, but within those choices, I found that no matter which one you picked, the other two choices were available next time, and then the other one choice was like the only option you could pick after that. So you could literally engage in these conversations, and even though it was multiple choice, it kind of wasn't, because there was an opportunity to select every single answer. I think that can be an advantage because you really do get a lot from the story. You're asking questions from every angle, you're getting the answers from every single angle. So I think it's really rewarding. And somebody said in chat that actually this was their favourite part of the story, because this is a top-heavy story. It's not just a generic horror. There are lots of conversations, there's lots of things to do, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. So you're walking through the apartment block, you're trying to find your son, or at least find some answers to what's happened to your son. You do come across various dead residents of the apartment block, and one of the key factors about the protagonist is having the ability to kind of click into their memory chip and step through a portion of their memories, which tends to be where the most horror within the game and the crazy psychedelic nature of the game comes through. That tends to be where the jump scares happen, and that is this kind of second level, if you would, to this game. You've got the kind of the base level where the characters in the real world, then you're in the like the dream catcher world, and you do get a lot of answers to your quest within the dream catcher world. It is very, very twisted in parts, and I will just say this now: if you suffer with epilepsy or photosensitive epilepsy, you know, this is probably not going to be a game for you, as in those dream worlds you tend to be kind of, at times I was like closing my eyes because there was so much going on screen, but I still wanted to play more. I still wanted to kind of get into this experience. It plays around with your audio senses, it plays around with your visual senses, and it was again one of those games that really connects with you on a physiological level. And I just found myself wanting more and more and more answers. And I kept saying to myself, should I just play through this in one go, get it done in one stream? But I didn't, and I'm confident I will finish it in the next stream. So as I said earlier, it's set in 2084. The visuals are really kind of nice. I wouldn't say the graphics are overly sharp. The textures sometimes lack in places, and I did find some frame rate drops as I was getting into the game a little bit more. But saying that, I am playing on a base PlayStation 4 model. I don't know how this runs on Pro. I dare say with every other game there's going to be less frame rate drops, and the visuals, I'm actually looking forward to downloading it again and just kicking back in the games room off stream and playing this on my PlayStation 4, because I think it's going to look great in 4K HDR. So I needed to share this with you guys because Resident Evil 2 is upon us. As I film this, it is the 2nd of January, and in approximately 3 weeks time, the Resident Evil 2 remake will take us down a brand new horror experience. We had Resident Evil 7 a couple of years ago, and that completely changed the direction of the franchise, with less zombies, more kind of what you don't see is the scary part, but then the jump scares came along and it really just kind of messed with people's heads. And then of course we had the VR experience, and I think the Resident Evil franchise is still going strong, and I think the Resident Evil 2 remake is really going to impress people from what we've seen so far. It looks fantastic visually, it looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, and it looks to be some really nice jump scares, so I'm excited to get into that. I will be streaming it, but this now, Observer, for me, is just a great warm-up to that. And a lot of you guys picked up on that in stream, saying that this is a fantastic warm-up for that, Gemma, and a lot of you guys thanked me for bringing it to your attention. So as I said earlier, if you've never heard of this game, I want you to let me know in the comment section below. Is it the kind of game you would play? It's definitely the kind of game that I feel I could just have a fantastic relationship with, and I'm really passionate about it. That's why I wanted to kind of put out this exclusive video, because it warrants its own video. It is a PlayStation 4 hidden gem, and I highly recommend it. So there we go. thank you very much for watching this episode. Let me know your thoughts. If you've played it, please don't add any spoilers in, but if you do play it on this recommendation, please let me know how you get on with it. I'd really like to know your feedback, and if there are any other, and I mean this sincerely, if there are any other hidden gem horror games on the PlayStation Store that you can recommend, please let me know, because I want to stream more horror. I really enjoyed Soma, and I really enjoyed Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear, I believe, was another horror game that this particular dev team chucked out. For me, out of the two, Layers of Fear is the weakest compared to Observer, purely because I think Observer has more layers to it. Like I said, there's this real world and there's this Dreamcatcher world, and the two hold very, very different levels of horror and connect with you very differently. But nonetheless, Layers of Fear is another great game. Let me know your recommendations below, but for now guys, please thump that subscribe button. I want to see you hit that like button as well, and I will see you in the next one. My name is Gemma, take care, see you soon.